Hey everyone, Sycra here, and today I'm doing some traditional sketching with pen and paper, and as usual, I put the tools I use in the description section underneath my video, so if you're curious as to what pen I'm using or whatever, look in the description and you'll find it there. So, in this video, along with doing the drawing, I figured, okay, so my last Pointy Chins episode was covering my preparation for the European Comic-Con, or the East European Comic-Con, and I figured maybe in this video I can just talk about my experiences there and if I learned anything. So the first thing I want to do is thank Andrea, who was the organizer along with Mircha, and they were very good organizers of the event, and they were very nice to me, so I really appreciate that. And here's what our booths looked like. It was me, and beside me is Flavia's booth, and then beside her is Bob Meatbag's booth. And it was pretty nerve-wracking for me being in the convention because I'm used to putting my art out there, but only in an online space. It's been so many years since I was in a gallery or any kind of, public space with my artwork. So it was very difficult and very new, but the best part of it was meeting fans. There were quite a few fans there, actually. And there were a lot of fans from Romania, of course, but also from Bulgaria, which I didn't expect. I guess, I don't know. I suppose I should not have expected it, but it was a nice surprise. Like, oh, cool, people from Bulgaria watch my videos and would make the trip to Romania, and that was really nice. And I also got 2 pieces of artwork from fans. This one is from Claudia, and she had done a character of mine, which I was having in the event as well as a print. And then the other one was from Vasile, and he wrote a very nice note to me as well. And I really liked these 2 pieces. So that was the good of it. Now, the bad part of it was pretty much mostly due to me and my inexperience and my nerves. I am super shy, and you may not know it from hearing me if you've been watching my videos only recently, or if you've started watching my videos only recently. You may not know that I am really, really shy and very nervous, and I have a lot of social anxiety. If you've been around for a while, you probably know that about me. Because in my videos early on, I think it's easier to detect that I was very nervous, and yeah. And so with this though, it was very strange because, okay, and I'm going to be talking a lot about myself, so if you don't want to hear about me and my stupid life, maybe mute it if you like looking at the artwork, and if you don't like looking at the artwork and you don't like hearing my voice, probably just mute it and open a new tab, but keep the video running because it kind of helps me with engagement for YouTube analytics. It shows like, oh cool, people are watching your videos. So anyway, yeah, so alright, so being online and having the YouTube channel, as it's grown, there's like well over 300,000 subscribers now. But whenever I go to different art channels or leave comments or things, I'm kind of known. And I get this weird thing where people, like I've heard people say like, oh, you're a celebrity on YouTube, whatever. And it's just weird, but I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to this feeling of like, okay, so online, I'm not a really good artist, but I'm fairly known. Not as known as a guy like Mark Crilly, of course, but, pretty known. And then in my normal life, outside, I'm not known at all. Like, nobody's going to recognize me And so there's a big split between these two. It's like, okay, online, if I'm doing art stuff, maybe I might get people talking to me like, whoa, cool, it's you, hi, how are you, and stuff. I really like your work. And then offline, it's like, who are you? What do you want? So what's weird about the convention is I would get approached by fans who really did know me, and they were like, whoa, it's you, cool, hi. And then there's just long periods of that nobody knows you and people are just passing your booth, and it's like crazy because you're going through these emotional extremes, this like roller coaster of being either you're this person that fans come to and they're kind of nervous to talk to you, and I was nervous to talk to them too, but it's like you go from that to like nothing, and then again you're somebody again, and then you're nothing again in the same spot. Like you're there, and it was wreaking havoc with, I don't know, my sense of who I am and what I am. And so these are just my psychological problems. But anyway, so there was that. And then on top of it, my work really didn't sell very well. And on the first day, I was pretty panicking over that. Just seeing that, like there were other booths that were doing pretty well. And one in particular did really well that I could see. And that was by this artist called Amena-chan. And I think it was at the end of the first day, she talked to me and let me know kind of why my stuff wasn't very successful and why her stuff was selling. And she's a veteran. She's been, I think it was like her 18th convention or something. And so she was super nice and really helpful. And she explained to me how at this con in particular, it's all about fan art. So if you, like with her, I think she only sold fan art that she had done. And with me, I was giving away this or selling this original work. And I didn't have any fan art. So it was a case of people would sort of be looking at it and not knowing exactly what it was. I mean, it's not like I didn't sell any work to people, because I mean, the people who were my fans tended to buy stuff maybe out of pity, or I don't know, maybe they actually liked the work. But it's like, fine, okay, they bought it. But then there were some other people who didn't know me who bought the work, but much less than people who are interested in fan art. So it's like, okay, so that's one thing. And then the other thing is the pricing. I really didn't know how to go about pricing things. And the prices Amena told me is that everything she sells is either for 5 lei or 10 lei, which is the equivalent of roughly like 1.5 to $3. So it's not selling for that much. And so what I did is I adjusted my prices as well. And the second day, more people, like a lot more people bought stuff after I had adjusted the prices. But still, like, I came nowhere close to covering my costs, because it was just like, I don't know. I had printed, I guess I printed quite a bit, but it's not just that. It's that you're selling for so little, and people are willing to spend so little. And I think this might just be a case of selling in Romania, where the people don't really have that much money. So you can't really expect them to be, spending, $40 or something, which might be possible in North America for a print. It's like, sure, why not? In Romania, it's very unlikely that that's going to happen. Or if it does, there's just going to be very few people who would be doing that. So overall, it was just like, yeah, I didn't really sell that well. I did a panel, and I thought that went pretty well. It got a pretty large turnout, so I was happy about the panel. But the drawing thing, I suppose, if this is typical of a convention, and I talked to some friends who said, yeah, this is very typical, that fan art is what really sells, then yeah, if I was going to go to a convention, I suppose fan art would be a better choice in terms of what to do. But I don't know. I don't feel like it's my thing. Like, I'm not really happy when I do fan art. I'm a fan of things, and I feel like I should like to do fan art because, again, I do like certain shows and certain anime and RPGs and stuff, games and stuff. So it's like I feel like, yeah, I should like doing this, but every time I sit down to draw something, it feels very difficult. It feels really forced, and I feel like I'm not being quite true to myself. So I have nothing really against people who do fan art. I mean, ArtGerm does a ton of fan art, and I really respect him. Sakimi-chan does lots of fan art, and she's very good. And Amena-chan, I'll post a link to her DeviantArt in the description, but she does fan art, and it's good too. It's like, cool, okay, you're doing that, and you can do that, but for me, it's just like hitting a wall where I feel it. I don't feel like I can do this. So it's going to be a bit more difficult, I think, for me. And I'm not sure how well I would do in conventions, and I don't know if it would be even a good idea to do them, or maybe I'm just in the wrong place and I'm in the wrong city, or I don't know. So I suppose if you have ever, if any of the people watching, if you've ever been a seller at a convention and you have any experiences to share, that would be cool to read in the comments if you could share your experiences, and was it the same for you? Or if you're a person who goes to conventions, do you like buying original art from artists, or are you more interested in buying fan art? And I get why fan art would be very popular, because when you watch something, you have that nostalgia from when you were a kid, or whenever it was that you saw this thing that you liked. You're already coming in with an emotion, and what art is supposed to do is it's supposed to inspire some emotion. Or often that's what it's supposed to do, not always, but often. You're supposed to get some emotion, so fan art is giving you free emotion, because even before you look at the art and judge it, you're already like, whoa, cool, this is Luffy from One Piece, and oh, awesome, I watched that show, and cool. And for me, it would be like, oh, cool, it's Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Awesome. Or Id from Xenogears. Cool. So, yeah, that's my thing on the convention. So the first day was super painful, and super me not being used to it. And I am not cut out to be a salesman. It's a lot of work. And being behind the booth as opposed to being in front of it, man, it's a world of difference. But I did learn. I learned a bunch. And I definitely will respect people a lot more if I see them behind a booth now, I think. Because I never thought it was easy. When I first saw people behind a booth, I was thinking, like, I can't do that. I guess I was right. I don't know. But yeah, the best part definitely was meeting people and seeing that, wow, people actually like the stuff. Okay, so this video's recorded in real time in case anyone is curious, and so I still got some time left, and I'm gonna have to fill it somehow. So maybe I'll tell you some stories of stuff that happens in Romania. Well, if you've seen the last stream that I did with Bob Meatbag, you'll know that he actually came from Vancouver for the purpose of the convention to have a booth here, and he also was part of the panel where he was drawing stuff while I was just talking. He was doing some pretty weird drawings. But anyway, so he came, and so far being in Romania, wherever I go, I seem to get a lot of looks just because I look different, I guess. Because, okay, in Vancouver, there's a lot of Asian people. There's lots of Chinese people, lots of Korean people, lots of Japanese people, lots of Indian people. And so someone who looks like me doesn't really stand out. But here, it's weird because every time I see like an Indian person or a Chinese person or an African person or just anyone who's not either Caucasian or a gypsy, it's just like, whoa, hello. Yeah, even when I hear people talking in English, it's like, wow, cool. And I get a little homesick. But anyway, so normally people look at me because it's like, oh, you're brown, but you're not a gypsy. What are you? And with Bob, he's really tall and he's Chinese. So, I mean, ethnically he's Chinese. Culturally, he's very Canadian. But yeah, so he got a lot of looks. But then with lipstick on top of that, like black lipstick, because that's what he wears, then he was really, really weird looking, I suppose, to the people. So on Friday, which was the first, the convention was on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Friday's the first day, and Bob was wearing his black lipstick, and people's reactions were pretty funny. Like, a lot of them were terrified. Some people were laughing and pointing and stuff, and it's like, oh, okay. And we went to this restaurant. There's like a restaurant chain here called Dristor Kebab, and we went to the one in Dristor, and Dristor is like an area, like a, I don't know, a district, I guess. And the people there were, I mean, Flavia was with us, so she translated. And for people who don't know, Flavia is the reason why pointy chins exist, because I do this study thing with Bob, where every day we show each other our work and our studies, and we discuss, you know, what's good and bad, what's working, what's not, where we think each other could improve. Pretty much just give each other critiques. And she was the one who's like, why don't you just make this into a series? Like, do this for YouTube, because what you guys talk about is useful. And usually I'm explaining my work and my thought process to Bob. You know, why am I doing this? Why did I make this choice instead of that choice? And, you know, where am I heading and stuff. So yeah, anyway, so Flavia was translating what they were saying, and apparently the staff, they thought Bob was like a movie star or something, or they said he looks like a movie star, and they ended up getting our orders all wrong, because I guess they were so taken aback by the brilliance of Bob that they couldn't focus on their job, which is common here, I suppose. But actually, the restaurant, though, it's kind of sad. Like, the whole thing has a sad tinge to it, because okay, so as an artist, as a freelance artist and someone who is a night owl, I am often awake very late, and there's not that many places open. I mean, there's a few, you know, 24-hour places, but not that many. And so this place is open all throughout the day and night. And there have been times where I've gone there at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. With Flavia, we just walk over there. And it's really weird because we've been there a bunch of times, but it's around 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. There's the same guy, and he comes with either one or two young children, like these very young girls. And it's like, okay, so why is a little kid awake at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning and going to this fast food place? And the security, there's always a security guard, and this is very common in Romania that there's security guards everywhere. But anyway, so the security guard is just like very friendly with these dudes that bring these little kids in, and they don't look like they're related, and then the little kid gets something from the front area, and then like usually a expensive car like a Mercedes or something drives up, and then these guys go into the expensive car with the kids, and it's bad news. And we've seen this like consistently around this time. This happens, and it's really worrisome because obviously the security guard's in on it, right? So that's really messed up. So we were thinking, what should we do? Well, we didn't want to contact the police because the police might be in on it as well, and then that could lead to us. So we ended up contacting some like NGO that deals with these type of things, and there's a lot of like we got some email that seems really shady and is saying call this number, which we've never seen before, and talk about what you saw and who you are and everything, and it's like, but we don't know these people. So anyway, we're kind of worried because this is one of the things I really hate about Romania is I guess I'm pretty sheltered in Canada. Like it's a very nice country, I suppose, in terms of this. I mean, we have prostitution problems for sure, especially in Vancouver. It's kind of known for having drug problems and prostitution issues and stuff. So we have that, but it's not like this. It's not so in the open. And I mean, I've seen this place during the daytime. I've seen it where there's like hookers and they're being groped in front of a restaurant in broad daylight, but they're at least old enough looking, like they look legal. And so it's really, you end up seeing stuff that it's like you don't know what to do about it. You don't know who you can trust. You don't know if you're going to be in trouble or not. There's a lot of cases where you just can't do much about it. So I guess because I always get asked, what do you think about Romania? And it's always hard for me because it's a country of extremes. You have some really nice things, and then you have some really dark things, and it's difficult. And I don't know. You get unreliable people sometimes who don't show up to their art shows. And anyway, I shouldn't get into all that. So let me talk about what I've been drawing. So, you have some girls and you have some guys, and I'm using a Pentel Aquash water brush, and I really like it. I'm going to do a pointy chin series or not a series, but an episode of pointy chins, specifically talking about this brush, so or this brush pen, this water brush. So I'm not going to go into like a ton of detail here. But you'll see on the far left side, there are a bunch of ellipses, and it's because I'm drawing this in a very unusual setup from what I normally use, where it's at a desk with a camera, and so I have to stay a certain distance away from the paper, or else my head comes in the shot, which you might have seen my hair pokes in to the screen. And so I wanted to practice my draftsmanship and make sure I could draw pretty nice circles and stuff, and it wasn't that nice. I mean, a lot of those are really terrible. But anyway, it's a good exercise regardless, and it's something I do often. I know Cynics, he starts his day by doing these warm-ups of doing spirals and stuff, and for me, I just do circles, ellipses, sometimes spirals, and I'll do parallel lines, like trying to make the lines all evenly spaced. And I really like the guy I'm drawing right now. I felt like I wasn't warmed up for every other drawing that's on the page, but the one I'm working on at the moment finally felt more like, oh, okay, I'm warmed up now, and I can do better lines and get better shapes and stuff. And so I was looking at him, and it's good, but I felt there was some, I don't know, some difficulty in reading the side, so I'm going to do a box to show, like, okay, if I put this darker square behind him, it'll pop out the area that juts out, and then I don't have to use a darker pen and strengthen that line too much, because I didn't want to do that. And it gives off this, I don't know, graphic design-y look that is pretty nice. So it's pretty much over now. I hope my convention experience helped in some way, educate you if you want to go to conventions. Fan art's very important. Yep, just want to thank everybody who showed up at the booth and just said hi, or especially if you bought something or shared your story with me. And for everyone else, thanks for watching.